Right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Season review of the 2024-2025 season. And let's be honest, that was a season straight out of hell. A nightmare season, a horrible season. Think of any negative words to put with ahead for that season, and you certainly will not be wrong. 15th in the Premier League table, lost in the Europa League final after being undefeated in the entire Europa League campaign leading up to the final. No FA Cup, even though we were the reigning champions. No Carabao Cup either. So a season where we are trophyless. And that's kind of foreign to us because even after Sir Alex retired, we still found ourselves winning trophies in our banter era, as they would say. But the season in itself was just absolutely disastrous. And you can start by the transfer window before the season started with Erik ten Hag, and we brought in the likes of Mazraoui, Matthias de Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Manuel Ugarte. You know, these are players that have done well throughout the season, but the team itself hasn't done well as a whole. Erik ten Hag was given the task of leading us into a higher position in the table. It was a bit of a pressure cooker put on top of him, especially after he won the FA Cup. The rumors that came out about him still, going to be sacked, even though he won, the FA Cup. And when the season started, Manchester United didn't start well. And 3 months in, Erik ten Hag was told he can leave Manchester United, and that's what happened. And then, in a quick fire turn of events, Ruben Amorim was appointed from Sporting, and we know exactly how that started as well. He did say, and he said it again in his address to the fans after the Aston Villa game at Old Trafford. He did say that we will be suffering throughout the season before things do get better or to the level that we as Manchester United fans want it to be. And he wasn't wrong. It was absolute, devastatingly, just a bad season all in all. There was no Player of the Year award show. There wasn't really any sense of us looking to certain players saying, you know what, he had a very, very good season. Everybody's seasons were all in bit parts in terms of success and in terms of having high performances. We had moments where we could have won games, but we didn't win those games. And let's be honest, losing 19 games in the Premier League, almost 20, that certainly is so bad and cannot happen next season. It shouldn't happen next season, especially since we are not in Europe at all. We have lots of time to focus on our domestic games, being in the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. And even though this season ended the way that it did, it could have been different. Of course, if we had to win the Europa League. But maybe this reset is what we needed. This season, Amorim said that we suffered so much within this 6 to 7 months that we're going to be much better in the new season because we changed so many things that was not good for the club, not good for the team, and that's personnel, that's staff, that's training regimes, environments that needed to be changed. The standard of Manchester United is so low and has been so low since Sir Alex retired because of everything that was just left by the Glazers to fester and rot into the bad situations that we find ourselves in. But there has to be a change. And this season, there was a lot of pain that we endured for the losses that we faced, the moments where we had injuries to key players, the likes of Ahmad, Lisandro Martinez, who a lot of people seem to forget about. He is still a Manchester United player, just busy in his rehab. We didn't have the squad capable of challenging on all fronts. We didn't have a squad or a team capable of competing in the Premier League, evident by how we have lost so many games in, ending 15th in the Premier League. The Aston Villa game, I think, is just a exception to the season that we have had in terms of performances. A season like this should not happen again for Manchester United. There is no way in hell or heaven or earth, which is where we are, we cannot have that type of performances or results in the Premier League next season. It was said by Omar Barada that next season we are aiming for a top 6 finish. It needs to be top 6, top 4, and as high as we can, basically. With us now, and I'm going to speak quickly about transfer news as well. Delap, Mbeumo, and of course Cunha, who is already kind of really basically a Manchester United player. But the signings that we make must and will, in my opinion, improve the team, not just in the attacking sense, but also as a whole, as a functioning unit. Amorim will have more time now in the preseason. Remember, Amorim did not have a preseason with these players. 90% of this team is not his players. He didn't sign these players. He inherited these players. And you could see by the evidence of how we were playing, some of these players are not good enough to perform at the level that we need. Forget about being at the level for Ruben Amorim and his system, but being at the level for a Manchester United player. That certainly has been lacking in terms of the players in our squad. But let's focus on a bit of transfer news now, as I just wanted to quickly speak about that. We know about Matheus Cunha, and we know exactly how far that deal is done. You can find it in the video that I have made. You can go and find it. Also, give it a watch. But Liam Delap, it has been said that we have an agreement in place, in principle, with Liam Delap, and we have spoken to him. Of course, there's no need to talk to Ipswich because he's got a £30 million release clause that is in his contract, but he needs to make a decision between us, Chelsea, Newcastle, and even Everton that is chasing the potential performer in Liam Delap. Now, of course, it's not to say we won't get him, but let's wait and see what happens. But that is the update. Liam Delap now has to make a decision of who he is going to join from Ipswich Town. It's either us or Chelsea, in my opinion. And I would be happy that he does come to United, but let's see what happens, in further updates. Bryan Mbeumo, we have spoken to Bryan Mbeumo and his representatives. We've also spoken to Brentford, and they value him at £50 million. Now, again, let's see what happens. It's good to see that we are talking to these players who are really good players, in my opinion, Premier League proven players. So let's see what happens as the transfers, the talking, the news comes out every single day. But thank you for joining me in today's video. Let me know what you thought of this season for Manchester United and just how bad it was. We are playing in Malaysia. It is a friendly, so excited to watch that for the sake of just watching Manchester United play football. I won't be doing a preview for it, but here we go. Have a wonderful day further. Till we see each other again, Red Devils. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.